Okay, good morning to our learners. We are now in the topic of how does excretion help our body to maintain homeostasis. Remember homeostasis in the first chapter. Okay, so homeostasis is the condition in which an organism internal environment is kept stable in spite of changes in the outside environment. So that is homeostasis. So meaning, in short, homeostasis is the one that keeps our body in balance regardless of what condition we have in and outside our body. Homeostasis is the one responsible for keeping our body in balance so that it will function properly and we could survive. Here it says a buildup of waste such as urea. Remember, urea is the breakdown of protein from the food that we partake. Excess water and carbon dioxide can upset your body balance. Remember that these three, urea, excess water, and carbon dioxide, are the materials that our body doesn't need. So this is the waste material. Excretion helps to maintain homeostasis by keeping the body's internal environment stable. Stable meaning balance and free of harmful levels of chemicals. So, uh, the organ, the organs such as kidney, lungs, skin, and liver is helping each other to remove the things that is not needed by our body. So they are a team, kidney, lungs, and skin. So they work hand in hand together to remove the materials that is not needed by our body. So if we're going to summarize the meaning of excretion, so here it says the process of removing waste. Use this meaning to choose the correct meaning of the verb excrete. So the word excrete is just simply means to remove waste. Okay, so that is the answer there. Now, since kidney, lungs, and skin and liver are team, we will discuss how they function to remove body waste. So let's start with kidney. As the kidney filters blood, remember the kidney has nephrons. Remember this topic the last time? I have discussed that nephron is the helper of the kidney to filter the blood. Now, by the way, nephrons in our kidney is millions. So we have millions of nephrons. If we're going to connect all the nephrons here, these tiny lines here represents the nephron. If we're going to connect all the nephrons, that is, if I'm not mistaken, that is 80 meters. If you're going to combine all together, okay, so that is a lot. Without the nephrons, the kidney will not filter. So let's back here as your book stated here. As the kidney filters blood, they regulate the amount of water in your body to help maintain homeostasis or internal stability. Remember that as urine being formed, needed water passes from the nephron tubes into the blood. So the water that is needed by our body is filtered by nephron tube. And then, once it is filtered, it goes back again to the body and then the excess water will goes to our ureter. So, after filtering, okay, the excess water will go to ureter and then it goes to the urinary bladder and then we remove that one through the tube called urethra. Remember that process, right? Now, for example, on a hot day when you have been sweating a lot and have not much water, almost all of the water in the nephron tube will be moved back into the blood. You will excrete only small amount of urine. Actually, out of 100%, only 1% of the water intake is released by our body. On a cool day, when you have drunk a lot of water, less water will move back into your blood. You will excrete larger volume of urine by looking at this figure number 3. Look at this figure number 3. Fluid absorption. These 3 students have been doing different activities all day. So we have here 3 students, Maria, Carrie, and Mike. Maria has been in the class all morning. She has had nothing to eat or drink. But she is just inside the classroom, sitting inside a comfortable area. But Carrie has been running sprints. So she's doing sports. She forgot to bring her water bottle. So she's doing a physical activity outside the room, and then it's hot. Mike has been sitting on the bench and drinking water. Now, the question there is relate the text and visual to the topic of kidney. Which student will probably produce the least urine? Explain. Carrie is sweating and has not drunk any water. At the same time, she's doing a physical activity and then she's sweating. At the same time, the question is asking which student probably produced the least urine. It is Carrie because she will produce least urine because she didn't drunk water. At the same time, she's sweating and then she is outside. It's hot. So she will produce least urine. Okay? Now, like now in Ramadan, so you are not drinking water for a couple of hours, right? So the thing there is you might see the color of your pee represents your hydration. The darker your pee, meaning you are really dehydrated. But if your pee is color white and light yellow, meaning your body has enough water. But if your pee or your urine is dark yellow, turning to light brown, okay, so meaning you are dehydrated. But once you break your fast after iftar, once you consume or drink water, your body will regulate normally again. But how does our body can sustain without the water? Remember, our body is almost 60 to 70% of water. So that body inside, that water inside our body helps to sustain for a couple of hours. So that's why in fasting you can still survive even without food and water because we still have stock of water. Remember, after fasting you break your fast and then you eat at night and then in the dawn. So the thing there is you will stock water and food as your energy in your fasting time. That's why you can still survive even in fasting. So remember excretory system when you are fast. So meaning excretory system is really managing it well so that you could survive during your fasting. Also homeostasis. Okay, so that is how our body relate to our condition. So let's talk about lung, skin, and liver. How do they work together to remove the waste? The organ in other system in your body help you to excrete waste. Particularly for carbon dioxide, lungs is the one responsible for removing carbon dioxide because carbon dioxide is not meant for our body. That is meant for the plants. Now, the sweat glands in the skin produces perspiration, which is our sweat. That is excess water. At the same time, there is a urea also there, the breakdown protein. So when we perspire, okay, we release the excess water, okay, through the help of sweat glands. Now, the liver is responsible for breaking down the protein from our body, which means the liver is responsible for breaking down other nutrients that our body does not need. So, liver is responsible for the food waste. Okay, so it filters the things that is needed. Remember, we discussed that in the previous chapter about digestive system. So, in addition, the liver breaks down many waste into form that can be excreted. Okay, so just imagine that liver is just like recycling materials. Okay, so liver is doing many things. At the same time, it can recycle some their parts. In this way, you can think of the liver as the recycling factory of our body. Okay, so I will repeat. 4 organs that is responsible for excretion of waste. Number 1 is kidney. Next is kidney is for the excess water. Okay, And lungs is excreting carbon dioxide, skin is excreting also excess water, and liver is excreting the breakdown protein and other nutrients from our body. So let's make a short summary about these four organs. What does they do about excretion? Lungs, it gets rid of the carbon dioxide and some water I exhale. Now, liver, it produces urea and then it breaks down waste and recycled materials. Third, skin, perspiration from the sweat glands contain water and some urea. And then last is the kidney. It is responsible for filtering blood and regulate the amount of water in the body. So, that is the summary of four organs responsible for excretory system. Now, here, assess your understanding. What does what have you learned about excretion? Okay, so excretion helps our homeostasis. Okay, so if you have some question, girls, you could send it via WhatsApp or in Clasera. Thank you and enjoy your day.